Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Katlego Moagi, and it is my intention to put out life-changing content for you, the viewer. Today, I'm joined by Thea van Tonder, who is going to help us navigate the topic of careers, career guidance, everything from picking the right subjects, picking the right course to do in university, the right university, and understanding the workplace even before you get into it. A warm welcome to you, Tia. Can you just tell the viewers a bit about yourself before we start?
Hi, Katlego. Thank you so much for having me. Okay, where do I start? I'm Thea van Tonder, and my speciality is econometrics. The first time I heard about it, I thought, what is this?
Yeah.
And it was so interesting. And it was actually a lady that was on the flight with me. So I remember as a youngster, they used to test our IQ
Yeah.
and see what you can do. Not your interest.
Yeah.
What is your IQ and what can you do? And we all ended up in a career that it wasn't quite satisfying.
Yeah.
And there's that old saying that says, if you like what you do, you won't work for a day. So basically, I started finding out about econometrics, and it's all about testing or finding out what your values, who are you at core? And then also looking at the work environment. So for instance, one of the ladies that I facilitated, she had all the right subjects, she had all the right marks, everything. She wanted to be a mining engineer. And when I started with her with the program, it turned out she doesn't like unhygienic facilities, or she can't even go to a public bathroom.
Okay.
Imagine she went to study for mining engineering and got to the workplace and had to go underground, and the
that's
circumstances
shock
is not. So for the first time, there's something that really looks, and that's where I get into it. I love kids and youngsters and being exposed to all of that. So yes, that's me in a nutshell. About 20 years experience, and as you know, that when we met, working in various management systems in businesses, quality, health and safety and environment. So I have a wide exposure to all the various careers, and that's helped me to do career coaching.
Wonderful. Now, with that, you should know that this episode is going to be packed with a lot of information that is going to help you and your children and anyone else that you know with making the right decisions for their career. I think the best place to start is grade 9. Here in South Africa, at grade 9 level, towards the end of the year, we are given an opportunity to pick subjects, to say what subjects do you want to do grade 10, 11, and 12. And these subjects are going to affect what we can do in university. Now, if there's a grade 9 learner there watching, what should they know before they even make this decision? How should they make the decision about their subjects?
Okay. Talking to the grade 9 learners, but also talking to the parents, I think it's very important to do some sort of assessment on your child prior to doing that subject, choosing those subjects. We all tend to think, oh, maths and science, then your ways open and your doors are open.
Yeah.
But it might not be that child's strength, and you're setting them up for failure.
Yeah.
You might have a child that loves people, that want to go into theatre, and there's so many careers out there. So I would think the first thing is to do some sort of assessment where you can really get to know the child, and that child can get to know themselves.
Yeah, which is important.
And also, and this is just my opinion, but I think we sometimes push ourselves so much. We think, okay, that's the end of the world. Guess what? If you had maths literacy instead of maths, you can always go and do it afterwards. I think our brains mature as well.
Yeah.
So part of what I look at when I do the career counseling for the children, it's actually a road. It's not a once-off.
Okay.
It's not a once-off. So it's also looking at the emotional strengths. Where is this child? Are they strong enough? And taking all of that into account, and their personalities and their value systems. Our value system is that who we are at core. Let me give you an example. For a company that wants an accountant, I will go in and I will do this econometric assessment. You wouldn't want to have somebody that's an accountant that has financial rewards very high up on their list,
Okay.
and ethics very low,
Yeah.
because that's going to be the person
yeah.
that's going to take money.
Yeah.
So things like that, get to know that. And the biggest thing I can say is parents should really listen.
To what the child is saying.
Unfortunately, I think you wanted to ask that a bit later on, but that's a issue that often comes up. Parents have expectations of what they think their child should be, and they don't hear. And even with this assessment, I've had it a few times where we do the assessment. If I may share examples, the one child that I did the assessment on is absolutely a genius on IT. He started fixing phones and everything from a young age. It's his interest. When we did the testing, everything came out, and his personality is an introvert, so he would be comfortable in the same workspace without a lot of changes. But the mom wanted him to be a chef. And as we were going through it, because I also do psychiatric counseling, the dad wanted to be a chef, and the dad passed away early from cancer. So subconsciously, she was actually trying to make the father's dream come true, and he was trying to do that as well.
Yeah. Oh,
He would have been so unhappy because he's not somebody that can work under pressure. Imagine working in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing some examples, but I think the first thing is to get to know yourself as a grade 9,
student,
and for the parents, really listen with an open heart, because if your child loves what they're doing, if it's an interest, they'll learn easier.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
they'll pass easier.
That's so true. Yeah. And again, the whole idea of math and physics, if you have that, you'll make it. It's not even a thing anymore. I can look at my life as an example, focused on that, went and studied engineering metallurgy, thinking that the jobs will just be calling for me, and that's not the reality that I'm experiencing right now, apart from the fact that I don't even like metallurgy, so that's another thing.
How did you get into it?
Again, are you in grade 9, and what are you told when you're picking the subjects? Math, physics,
and science.
Stick to that, and then you'll be sure, everything will be good work-wise. So I applied for things like engineering, mining, geology. I didn't know metallurgy. I wasn't accepted for the other two. So the next best thing was going to metallurgy. So you're there as a student, just past matric, and then you're in the queues at the University of Johannesburg, and you don't want to go home and be like, I don't like this, I don't know this, I'm not going to do anything. You want to do something, you also feel like you're falling behind. So I do it, and then I'm in class and I'm like, what is this, but you don't also want to go back home and say, I don't like this. And that's another thing, that's another challenge that we're going to discuss.
Other question.
Okay. So, but we'll discuss all of that.
But having heard what you've just shared, imagine in grade 9 you did an assessment that said what was your 28 values, what's the top 10 things that has to be in your workplace, and the 10 things that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
If those 10 things are there, you'll be happy. If they're not there, you're not. If
the other,
the
bottom.
So imagine you knew yourself at that stage, and we were talking about taking that values and going to match it to the different job categories. If you think about engineering with metallurgy, I can never say that
metallurgy.
word. It's a lot of lab work. It's a lot of, and you're a people's person.
Yeah.
That should have come out in the assessment.
Already, from the start.
And that's why I was so impressed with the econometrics when I came across it, and that's why I actually went to study it a few years ago. And I think it can make a difference. And I'm hoping that find somebody that does something that looks at your, because if you do what you like, money is not everything. We tend to think it is.
But it's not.
We tend to want to go for those careers that's high paying. And then, as you said, the work doesn't come in all the time.
Sorry.
The work doesn't come in all the time, and then you're
disappointed.
You have to want to get up to go to work.
And it's a
Although I
mission.
don't think we always want to. We all work for the bread on the table.
We do, however, I think there are other careers that can pay just the same, the same amount of money that will make us happy or happier than what we chose. In any case, so